Hello, my YouTuber audience. This is Dana Drupsky again for this for another Three Stooges VHS collection video. And previously, we went through the first releases of the 13 volume ones. Then the second video I did when it's the first reissues and first reprints in around 1982, 1983. Then recently, the third video that I did was the when the Three Stooges 13 volumes were reissued and the other reprints. Got to be from 1984, 1985. Now we moved on to the series called the Three Stooges Other Nyuks series. The Three Stooges Other Nyuks series originally came out on those VHS tapes back in 1988. Like volumes 14, the series ran from 1988 to 1990 from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video. For instance, like the first 6 Three Stooges Other Nyuks tapes, like the 14 volume, and it has Three Little Chirps. Now, that was not before released on video. Then 2 previous shorts taken from the 13 volume ones, Restless Nights and Matchaphonies that I have in one of those 13 volume tapes. Then the 15 tape in the Other Nyuks were Ants in the Pantry, and 2 previous ones like Plumbing We Will Go and Dutiful But Dumb. The 16 one, A Ducky Native Go, comes with 2 previous shorts like Colonel Curls and Much to You. Then the 17th one in the series, In a Sweet Pie and Pie, comes with 2 already released shorts, Healthy, Wealthy, and Dumb, and If the Body Meets the Body. And then the 18 volume, it has Phony Express, comes with 2 previous shorts from the 13 volumes. Yes, We Have No Bonanzas and Uncivil Warriors. And the 19 volumes, the last one in the 1988 releases, has Playing the Ponies and 2 final previous titles from the old volumes, Ache of Every Steak and 3 Sappy People. This is why I didn't want to go for the first 6 Three Stooges Other Nyuks tapes. That's why I went for the ones like all the Three Stooges shorts not before released. Yeah, not just one new short and plus 2 previous doesn't make any sense. I'll show you later of the Three Stooges 1990 collection for this next video in the future. Let's get on with the Three Stooges Other Nyuks series. Came out from the ones I have here from 1989 to 1990. There are not in Roman numerals in those volumes. They discontinued doing that in 1985. So let's begin with the first Three Stooges tape in the Other Nyuks series, or They Stooge Congo and the Other Nyuks. Every cassette has all new to video, uncut, uncensored, and uncloth. And it has the shorts when they made, like the years when it was made. Like Your Nazi Spy was made 1940. Then I'll Never Heil Again 1941. These 2 shorts, You Nazi Spy and I'll Never Heil Again, was a 2 World War II Three Stooges shorts when the Three Stooges were making fun of the Germans at the time when the Germans were invading Poland at the time. Yep. And that's how Moe is imitated Adolf Hitler. That is like the character's name was Moe Hairstone. And there was a most violent Three Stooges short on this tape, They Stooge the Conquer, in 1943. When you watch the people calling on the telephone scene, you might get to see Lloyd Bridges in a cameo. And it was the most violent Three Stooges short ever made. When the Stooges are pulling wires out of the wall, like Moe goes through the wall. Then with the climbing spike Curly's climbing spike goes into Moe's head, Moe's eye, and Moe's ear. That was a scene was cut out from when it was syndicated during the late 1950s and early 60s, when the Three Stooges shorts were syndicated to Screen Gems. And this is the 1989 release from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video. And it didn't have like the copyrighted 1989 Columbia Pictures. This tape was This is a reprint copy. Printed it on the 9th week of 1991, and it says it was printed it on February 21st, 1991. Hold on, I'm going to show you the next Stooges tape. And every cassette of those Three Stooges other Nyuks tapes has a cover of their shorts were on there. This next one, the 21st volume, has Coco Caballeros and the Other Nyuks, 1989 release. There's the spine, and every cassette has their numbers. Like this is the 21st volume. On this tape has Coco Caballeros in 1940, and this one with the boys were doing with the beauty parlor. Bobby Dope's 1945, the one they had to buy like a new boat to catch some new fishes. This film was a remake from the 1932's Laurel and Hardy's Toad in a Hole. Then finally Busy Buddies from 1944. The one with the Stooges owns a restaurant. They had to raise the money to pay off the guy's pastry debt. So that's why Moe and Larry entered Curly of the cow milking contest. 1989 release. This is just the 1989 original. This tape was printed it on the 21st week of 1989. During at that time, one of the earlier of the 13 volume ones they kind of reissued in 1987. The ones I showed you from one of the previous updated videos. The next one we have here is the 22nd volume, has From Nurse to Worse and the Other Nyuks from 1989. On this volume it has Crash Goes to Hash. In this one, with the boys were playing photographers, they had to get a picture like that wealthy prince. He was about to get married. But they found out the prince and the butler were going to the safe and robbing it. That's why the Stooges put a stop to that. When the Stooges disguised as the cooks and butlers in there. And then we roll on to From Nurse to Worse in 1940. In this one, the boys had an idea to get the money, so they had to pretend. So that's why they had to go to the insurance company, to go to the doctors, so they can get their insurance to prove you're nuts. Only about $500 a month. So that's why they had to have Curly to play the patient. And then we finally roll on to the later ones, like Gee, I Want a Home in 1946. That was during the Curly's final shorts era at the time, when Curly was getting weak at the time, when he was almost having a stroke. In this one, after the boys left the army, they had to find when they had to see their fiancés, whatever. All of a sudden, they couldn't get married until they found the place to live. And one of the good gags I like with the bird goes into the turkey. They did that also in From Crash Goes to Hash. Right on this cassette. Show you what this cassette looks like. 1989 release. This tape was actually printed it on the 21st week of 1989. Then we roll on to the 4th tape of the Other Nyuks, like the 23rd volume that has Halfwit's Holiday and the Other Nyuks from 1989. On this tape it has 3 vintage Curly shorts. It starts with 1947's Halfwit's Holiday. The one where the Stooges had to be the way that in this one with the Stooges had to be to become gentlemen. They had to do the eating. Well, they had to do the dining, teaching, the reading lesson, and they had to be nice to their guests until they messed up with the pie fighting scene. Did you know Halfwit's Holiday was a remake from the 1935's Hori Polloi? And the bad part about this short, Curly Howard of the Three Stooges had a stroke during the production at the time. And that's how Halfwit's Holiday became a final Three Stooges Curly short in his career, when Curly suffered a minor stroke. And that's why Curly was not even in the pie fight scene. Director Jules White wanted to move on like making the pie fight scene without Curly in there. Then we roll on to the earlier ones, like Horses Collars in 1935, the one with the Stooges had to go out west to find the IOU, and they had to try to apprehend the Double D Decker, the killer. And the best gag I like when Curly sees a mouse, he goes crazy. He says, "Mo, Larry, and Keys, Mo, Larry, and Keys." Then we roll on to How High Is Up in 1940. In this one with the boys have to, the boys were just riveters and they had to work on the 97th floor, but the boys were not doing correctly like making a building. Show you what this tape looks like. Sticker label from 1989. This tape was printed on the 21st week of 1989. Then we have here a 24th Three Stooges volume I had when I was a kid. Idiots Deluxe and the Other Nyuks. On this tape it has like 3 hilarious episodes. Like starts with I Can Hardly Wait in 1943. In this one, when the boys were the plays like a defense workers, after they got home having a nice decent meal, Curly bites into a bone and gets a toothache. So Curly was giving Mo and Larry a hard time to go to sleep, so that's why I had to take him to like a dentist. And they got some dentist gags taken from one of the previous Laurel and Hardy films. Like their Laurel and Hardy silent short with the dentist, and another Laurel and Hardy film with the dentist when they were in prison in Pardon Us. And then we got Idiots Deluxe in one of the later Curly ones. Now it was made 1945. In this one, the boys had to go bear hunting. And here's Item Rumors. The one with the boys plays the bellhops and the cleaners when they went to someone's apartment to be the cleaning up until they found like a beast man hidden inside like the cage or something. And I like the ending of this film when the beast man and the Stooges were in the elevator and the elevator broke through the top of the roof. That was hilarious. Show you what this cassette looks like. 1989. This tape was printed on the 21st week of 1989. And here's the last Three Stooges Other Nyuks tape of 1989. That is Nutty But Nice, known as the 25th volume in the series. On this tape has 3 earlier Curly ones, like the Sinner Downers was 1937, and this one with the Stooges were, after they got married to their fiancés, they had to build the house. That was in 1937. And then Nutty But Nice in 1940, the one with the Stooges were finding like that little girl's father were kidnapped by some gangsters. And we roll on to Sibley and Silk in 1936. The one with the boys were carpenters when they duplicating like the Chinese cabinet and accidentally they broke it. Then they own the beauty. Then they own like the Madame Sweet, the Smart Fifth Avenue dress salon. And they had to do with the fashion show when they have like carpenters or whatever. That was a good short, and I like the pie fight scene in this episode. That was shown in the Muppet Babies once. Sticker label, 1989. This tape was printed on the 21st week of 1989. Yeah. Let me see, what month was the 21st week of 89? I was only about 4 or 5 years old at the time. Yeah. Let me see. 21st week was... Let me see, January's the 4th week. February was the 8th week. March is the 12th. April was the 16th. May is the 20th. I think it was around like mid-late June when R.C. Columbia Pictures home video release of the 6th Three Stooges of the Nyuks tapes. Now we got plenty of more. The ones that came out in 1990, and this is the 26th tape. It has all Shemps in it. Like during the time when Curly had a stroke, Shemp Howard of like the Three Stooges returned to the act of the Three Stooges when Curly had to retire in the act at the time. It all started when Shemp was with Ted Healy, and Shemp was resigned in the early 1930s. He couldn't take abuse being with Ted Healy. On this tape it has Fright Night. That was the first Three Stooges Shemp short in 1947. During at that time when Curly was in the hospital, when he was recovering from the stroke. And also that has some good gags in Fright Night. I like the when Shemp was trying to do with the gangsters thing, like I got a mother, I got a grandmother, and this so high, and also the gangsters were chasing the Stooges around the warehouse. That's when it all started, when the Stooges were involved with the gangsters betting on like that guerrilla fighter. All of a sudden, they lost $100,000. That's why the gangsters had to take care of the Stooges, which was a good short. And then we roll on to Hold That Line. In this one, with the boys were trying to get their inheritance until it was taken by Ichabod Slip. And also, I like the gag in this short. I like the good close scene in this short when the boys were on the train looking for a villain, the one who stole their inheritance. Guess who was sitting in the passenger side? You guessed it, Curly Howard. When Curly was visiting at Columbia at the time, when he recovered from the stroke, Curly had hair for that film. Then we roll on to Who Done It in 1949. The one with the Stooges plays like the detectives. Did you know this film? I like when it had when they fighting with the gun shooting scene. I like turning off the lights. Hey Shemp, is that you? With the punch, yeah. That's when the Stooges were fighting in the dark and they're turning on the lights. That was a good gag. And this film, Who Done It, was a remake from the 1946 short with Gus Schelling and Richard Lane in Pardon My Terror in 1946. And this is the 1990 release from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video, and this tape was printed on third week of 90. That's got to be in January of 90 at the time. Or was it February? Yeah. Here's the 8th tape. Also has with Curly in it, in the Uncivil War Birds and the Other Nyuks, the 27th volume in 1990. It has Three Little Pirates, but I like the good gag in Three Little Pirates when they do like the Homomaja routine and throwing knives at Larry as a target. They did that in the feature-length movie with Curly Joe in the Round the World in the days before they did it in Time Out for Recess in 1941. Then we have Uncivil War Birds in 1946. And this one with the boys were during like the Confederate thing, during the Civil War. And that was like considered to be a remake of the 1935's Uncivil Warriors. I think Uncivil Warriors was better than Uncivil War Birds. I like the good scene in this film when the Stooges were dressing up in black faces, when they're singing a Dixie song, when they're trying to get the map away from those generals. And there's Back to the Woods in 1937, when Mo, Larry, and Curly upset the English Empire, and they were sentenced to voyage with American colonists, and they had to fight against the Indians. This is the 1990 release. Yep. This tape was printed on the third week of 1990. Having trouble closing this box. Now here's the 9th Three Stooges of the Nyuks tape, also with Shemp and the Hot Stotch and other Nyuks from 1990. On this cassette, it has 3 earlier Shemps like Hot Shots in 1948. In this one, the Stooges plays like the English detectives, and they went to Scotland to keep an eye with some of the guy's treasures. Then we got Fewing Around. In this one, with the mistaking for the top scientists, Larry, Moe, and Shemp were kidnapped and taken to the state of Oribar for the laboratory thing. Yep. And I like the good scene I like in this film when the Stooges were using a rocket fuel, like breaking the floor to save the professor at the dungeon. Then I like the part in that same scene when Moe and Larry were grabbing Shemp's legs and trying to get him down into the cell. When the general was trying to hold on to Shemp's head from the laboratory floor. I like that gag. Then Hoo La La in 1951. And that was the one with the Stooges were working at the studio, being like doing dancing choreographies, whatever. They were sent to go to Africa. They're looking for dancers. 1990 release. This tape was printed on the second week of 1990. That was like a little bit before they changed the name to Columbia TriStar Home Video. We got 3 more of the Three Stooges other Nyuks tapes. It has like all Curlies and 3 Smart Saps and the other Nyuks. We roll on like 3 classic episodes, like Beer Bowl Polecats, one of the later Curly ones. The one where the Stooges were making beer, and the best line I like, we all put the yeast in when they put too much yeast. And then after they make the beer, they sell a bottle of beer to a police officer. They were sentenced in jail for that. And did you know Beer Bowl Polecats was showing like 3 previous Three Stooges shorts in the footage, like they're about to get hanged in the opening of the Sweet Pie and Pie. Then they worked in the rock pile in So Long, Mr. Chumps. Then we roll on the 3 Smart Saps. In this one, the boys were about to marry to their fiancés till the wedding was off because they had to get their father-in-law out of jail. It was a frame-up by that gangster. So the Stooges were undercover, had to go into the main dining room to get evidence. And I like doing like the conga dance scene. Then we roll on to Monkey Businessman, one of the later Curly ones. The one with the boys place like the electricians, and they need a rest, so they end up going to asylum. That was a nightmare. Some of the Three Stooges films, the villain actor was played by Kenneth MacDonald. He always played villain roles in these Three Stooges films in the 1940s and 50s. This tape was printed on the second week of 1990. Now we got down to 2 more. Now we got here like the Shemp tape one, Studio Stoops and the other Nyuks. On this tape it has Studio Stoops, the entertainment industry becoming even more entertaining when the Three Stooges worked as studio press agents. Their stunt having the glamorous actress disappear working too well when some gangsters kidnap her. Then I like Crime on Their Hands. Well, the Stooges plays like the reporters when they're looking for the Punjab diamond was been stolen by Dapper. And I like that scene when Shemp swallowed the mint by the actress foil Christy McIntyre. Shemp swallowed the Punjab diamond. And then the villain Kenneth MacDonald and the other guy were trying to operate Shemp. So the Moe and Larry were locked in the closet and they had to break out of there when they went into someone's gorilla's cage. Then we roll on to Shibble and Shillocks. In this one, the Three Stooges were accusing for the bank robbery, so they had to work at the restaurant, try to clear their names. So they had to go to the deserted old house when it was owned by a gangster when it was hiding. When they use it like a hideaway. And there was like this beast character named Angel when they're trying to chop one of the Stooges' heads off in this one. That was a good short. When they had to rescue their girl played by Christy McIntyre. This tape was printed on the third week of 1990. And last but not least, in the Three Stooges Other Nyuks series, before we close, here's the last tape with Curly in it. All the World's a Stooge and Other Nyuks from 1990. On this tape it has Grist, Grounds, and Groans in 1937, one of the early Curly ones. In this one with the Stooge, and that was the one where Curly was Bostoff, had to take Bostoff's place when the dumbbells knocked Bostoff cold in his locker room. Then it has All the World's a Stooge, that was 1941. The one with the boys were janitors, they mistakenly as dentists, and then they're trying to get away from the dentist owner, and then they decide to become like refugees, being like these little squirrel kids. Excuse me. Last but not least, we have Three Dumb Clucks, one of the early Curly ones that was in 1937. Curly plays both himself and his pop and his dad when the Stooges are trying to stop the wedding. So Curly was mistakenly as Pop getting married. And also, this film was a remake with Shemp in 1953, like Daisy Up in Penthouse in 1953. And they show a footage from Three Dumb Clucks. And here's the last one. This is an ex-rental tape. This tape was printed in on the third week of 1990. So I guess that's it with the my 4 Three Stooges VHS collection video. And I showed you some Three Stooges Other Nyuks tapes. We'll see you again next time when I have more of these VHS tapes. Until then, stay safe and get well soon. Hopefully when the COVID-19 is going to be ending soon. I don't know when, but it's going to take time. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, and keep on watching some Three Stooges shorts on YouTube or your hobbies on eBay to buy them on DVDs and VHSs. Goodbye, my YouTubers, and keep on yucking. Bye.